So Germain, what is the point of your role, and like how does it accomplish or not accomplish its goal?
So I think the point of my role is to end the monitorship, to be honest with you, right? Because the monitors have been looking at, like I said earlier, all this data, stop reports, body-worn cameras, things like this. And if you read the monitor put out reports, a couple of reports throughout the year. She just put out the racial disparities report, which speaks on 14th Amendment issues. Before that, she put out the NST report, which speaks about neighborhood safety teams, the unit that Mayor Adams rolled out. She spoke about that, but in these reports, she's saying that NYPD is still not in compliance with the Joint Remedial Process. Right?
So what is that supposed to mean?
What that means is that they're not in compliance. So in order to fully see what's going on and what's happening in communities, they have to bring community into the space to hear anecdotal stories in real time. What's happening? I'm not collecting feedback from somebody that was like, yo, in 1989, you know, I was walking down and the detectives hit me in the back. I'm not collecting the type of feedback. I'm collecting feedback. Yo, last week I was walking down the street in Brownsville, and officer came up to me and he just started searching me out of nowhere. And I told him I didn't consent, but he kept doing it. Okay, so and I started asking him identifying questions. Do you remember what kind of car that officer was driving? He was in one of the plane cars. Okay, how many officers was it? It was 3 officers. Do you remember what kind of uniform they was? Nah, I don't remember that. I'm like, okay, so it could be NST officers, could be PST officers, could be CRT.
What's
right?
the difference? I don't fucking know.
NST is neighborhood safety team.
Okay.
PST is public safety team. CRT is what
Critical
the hood,
response.
the hood calls it the khaki pants dudes, right? Right. So and that's community response team. So
What the fuck? Those sound like the same. There's 3 names for the same thing. What's the difference?
We got rid
Is there a difference?
of the specialized policing, the street crime units, and then just like instead of having a street crime unit, we just broke it up and it had these different names for it.
Basically rebranded the same shit.
So let me touch on that real quick. So a lot of people think when De Blasio got rid of the thing, when the whole defund police movement was happening, when he got rid of anti-crime unit, that they were gone.
Yeah.
What happened was they were taken out of plain clothes, they were put into uniforms and named PST. So really they didn't go nowhere. But then when crime started supposedly going up based on what media was saying, they like, oh, these defund the police people, they see they messing up our city. But really the unit never went nowhere. They just changed the name.
They
and
just
them
put
in
a nice
uniforms.
hat and a bow tie on a piece of shit.
And put them in uniforms. That's it. But yeah, so I ask identifying questions like that, right? And if they can't give me those answers, I start asking time. What time did it happen? What day was it? Do you remember the location, right? Because if I get those identifying factors, then if it's it was a problematic stop, then I can go to the monitor and be like, hey, I just got this feedback saying that, you know, this individual, he was walking down the block, minding his business, cops stopped him, they searched him unlawfully. It happened 7:30 at night on the corner of Mother Gaston and Blake Ave, right? Or something, whatever, like somewhere in Brownsville. Right, happened on that corner. The monitor's gonna go, okay, that's a 7-3 precinct. It happened around this time. This thing, they're gonna try to pull body cam footage. They pull the body cam footage. They look at the body cam footage, verifies my story. Now they know what's happening in the 7-3, right? So that's how the process works. And the goal and the objective is for after we gain all this feedback and all this done, this is the most important part, is recommendations from community. How do they want to see their communities policed, right? I know abolition is like a big thing in the city, right? But we have to make steps before we can get there. And the recommendation part is important because that's how body-worn cameras came about through the monitorship, and a lot of people don't know that, right? So I'm excited to get to that point, but I'm not rushing to get to that point because we want to make sure we fill in the blanks in between.
I think the